Now we've successfully dealt with that little sister, now let's go find out where that other Big Daddy has gotten himself off to and try to acquire his little sister now and continue the next two gathers, as well as our core mission objectives as well. Not sure off the top of my head this level has 2 little sisters or 3, but I'm pretty sure it has 3. Oh crap, here he is! Oh sweet Jesus. Yeah, we're gonna use the armor-piercing auto rounds on him now to demonstrate those. And like I said, they're actually pretty good compared to in the first game, and you can hold quite a large quantity of them, and I actually have quite an incentive to buy more compared to the first game, but it's a high priority to get the machine gun recoil reduction upgrade as well from the power to the people stations if you want to be able to maintain sustained fire on them for a long period of time. So, well, we took down the Rosie, now we gotta figure out where the heck that little sister got dropped. I don't see it anywhere. But yeah, if there's any, like I said before, if there's any sloppy combat in this LP, it's purely because I'm recording on the little tiny recording window as usual, and it's kind of hard to. It's a window about as big as the window you're viewing it right now on YouTube, if not slightly bigger than that. So it's like I'm playing it on a window as big as that, pretty much. So imagine trying to play a game on a window that small. Anyway, we died, and this is what happens when we die while we have a little sister that we've adopted. They basically just appear in front of the fighting chamber waiting for our return. So there's not really a huge penalty for dying while you have the little sister, which is nice, but the drawback to that is we can't die during a gather, or else obviously the gather will end, as I've explained before. But there is a turret over there. I think that's what killed me, actually. It's an RPG turret, so we're definitely going to hack that and use that in the gather over there if we decide to. But I want to go this way first because I want to complete our core objective here, because it'll give us a really nice ability. And if you guys have played the game, you know which one I'm talking about. It's pretty much one of the most fun things in this game, pretty much.
They're building a case that Lamb's a closet pinko, sort of an undercover thing. So I cozy up to this guy Wales who works for Lamb, making like I want to join up. Then I find out whether
just passing through.
Jesus,
don't mind me.
Or Karl Marx.
There's one of those big goons now. Start your camera rolling.
So against this brute splicer should be an easy fight, but we're required to research him so we can get this ability from our level 1 research against him, and that will allow us. We got it right away by throwing that barrel at him, and so now that gives us a ability called the drill dash, and it's very, very good. We can, if we spin the drill and then hit the melee button, we can dash across the screen. And not only is it good for covering ground, we can hack that camera too if we want to have an additional edge in this battle against the brute splicer, but it's not especially necessary. But it's obscenely powerful, and it does consume a bit of drill ammo. There's a demonstration of it there, but it's one of the most fun things to do in this game. And it's one of the reasons why the drill is still powerful all throughout the game, despite the fact that it's your starting melee weapon. It's not as bad as, it's not like the wrench in the previous game where it becomes obsolete almost immediately. But then again, it doesn't have unlimited ammo like the wrench did. So, but we have that offhand melee we can use at all times. So it's like we don't really need a straight up melee weapon like that wrench. And that's essentially what that wrench equals out to in this game. But yeah, it's an awesome, awesome ability. I absolutely adore it. And a lot of times if I have the drill fuel to spare and I haven't been using the drill all that much, I'll just use it to cover ground faster. I'll just use it as sort of like a half-assed sort of sprint type ability. Kind of reminds me of the blink from Dishonored a little bit with the amount of ground we're able to cover, although it's not quite as directed as that. Anyway, we get a new plasmid here, the Hypnotize, which they've pretty much combined the Hypnotize Big Daddy plasmid and the Enrage plasmid for the previous game into one. Now they're pretty much the same thing, and it actually is a really good plasmid, but I'm not going to be using it. I do recommend it, but it's just not going to fit into my particular setup for this game. So if you want to give it a try, then go ahead, but I have another plasmid in mind I'm going to be using in this run that I didn't particularly care for in the previous game. But this is a nice little area here. I had to interrupt their nice little peaceful dance. And there's an audio diary up here. This is a rather secret area up here, too.
That's it. We have to close down the limbo. Bomb goes off in that fancy place uptown, and Everybody panics, pulls their money out of the banks, a whole city tugging on the same dollar bill. So the banks fold, and maybe 1 in 10 got their savings out. Who's gonna come hear me nightingaling about how broke they are? How am I gonna provide for little Eleanor?
Looked like a pretty happening place before whatever happened to it. But yeah, we can hold a good amount of drill fuel pretty much throughout the entire game, but our consumption of it will be increased a lot more that we're using it regularly in combat again now. I kind of took a break from using the drill. Without the drill power tonic and the drill damage increase upgrade, the drill's primary attack stops being really all that powerful after a while, and it still doesn't really do a whole lot of damage to armored enemies like Big Daddies and Big Sisters. But again, if you have the drill dash, then you can, you know, pretty much one-shot a lot of most small splicers by just lunging right into them, and it's pretty damn good. So later in the game, when we actually have the drill fuel consumption rate upgrade, and the drill will be another weapon I'll try to max out by the end of the game. But like I said, when we first found a Power to People station, as I explained, there actually is not enough Power to People stations in the game to get every single upgrade, because there's that third additional upgrade to max out the weapon once you have the previous 2 upgrades. So yeah, it's a bit of a judgment call there to decide which ones you want to get. There is a corpse in that room back there where I picked up this audio diary that actually is not a half bad location for a gather. But because you can line all the hallways with trap rivets all the way down, or if you got the cyclone trap plasmid, cyclone trap plasmid already, you could be using that, which I would like to have. I'm going to pick that up very soon because that's a very good plasmid, as it was in the previous game. But I will. I don't have the atom for that quite yet, or I think I have the atom for. I will after I've done these gathers though, and I'll have enough for the slots for it as well. It's kind of nice when the splicers don't come in and ruin my setup as I'm creating it. I swear, if you guys are, it's like my catchphrase for this LP has become "in the previous game." It's like if I say the phrase "in the previous game" anymore, I think you guys are gonna want to strangle me. So I apologize if that gets annoying, but it's just like I have to say it. It must be known how much better the previous game was. There I go saying it again. I still don't think this game is bad, but you know, I think a lot of its criticisms are undeserved by a lot of the fans. But still, it's worth making comparisons where it's relevant. A little theory of mine, I'm not actually sure if this is true or not, but it seems to me at least that if you... I'm not actually sure what happens if a splicer gets to the little sister or not. I think they just interrupt her until you eventually get killed, and it just stops the progress. I don't think they can actually like pick her up and kidnap her and run off with her. If they have, what the hell happened there? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. If they can do that, I've never seen it happen. But I do notice that if a splicer stops her from gathering, it does seem to slow down the process a lot. Like she goes a little bit slower after that. It takes her some time to pick up speed. But that just might be a superstition of mine. But I usually try best as possible not to let anyone get to her. That's part of my setting up the perimeter type strategy there. We're getting a lot of Adam now, so there we go. Love the drill dash, it's so good. Another thing you'll notice is these lockboxes right here usually only spawn during gathers, and they just sort of become scattered all over the place where splicers die. I'm not sure why the game does this, why the game feels the need to scatter these all over the place, but they're mainly just there so you can recover some of your loot after you've used up your resources in the gather itself. And since there's no more nitro splicers in this game, there's none of those grenade boxes that are dropped anymore that are otherwise useless. Anyway, now we've come full circle. We're back down here again, and we're here. planned this out perfectly because now we can do the second gather at the location here that has not only the RPG turret but also the camera, so we have a really good setup for this one. And then we can deal with this little sister, and yeah, it only is 2 in this level, so we can be on with it finally and get through the place we're supposed to go to.
Unkind. She spoke against him in song, and he had her blacklisted.
So again with the trap rivets. And again, if you have the cyclone trap, definitely use that as well. And I'll be getting that eventually. That'll probably be the next thing I get after I get the plasmid slot to unlock the winter blast, which I already have.
To take it from her?
Okay. Let's do this. Now, regarding the brute splicers in this game, some of them, most of the brute splicer encounters in this game are scripted until later levels where the game feels like giving you them kind of randomly. They sort of replace the thuggish splicers altogether, it seems like, in later parts of the game, as well as in the DLC for this game as well, which we'll be getting to after. I'll talk about more about that at the end of the LP, but I will not be playing that before Bioshock Infinite comes out. I have barely enough time to get this LP done before Bioshock Infinite comes out, so I'll probably wait until I've done a few more LPs before coming back to this game and doing the DLC. But again, I'll talk more about that when we beat this game. It looks like the camera is working out for us pretty well here. The security camera, that is. For some reason, the sentry bots didn't seem to be attacking that splicer there, but I went ahead and just hacked one of those security bots by electrocuting it and then hacking it to get the research on the security. Always a nice thing to do. The security is usually in this game and in the first game a very difficult thing to max out because you usually don't think about it because they're machines and not really considered regular enemies, so it's kind of hard to remember, oh hey, I need to research the security bots, especially the security bots in the previous game when they were considered their own entity, separate from the turrets and the cameras. Because then it was like, well, there's only a handful of times where they're opposing enemies. That's pretty awesome there. That Big Daddy was just like, shove.
Where are we going?
He was not even involved in this encounter, and he actually helped us out quite a bit. So now that we've done all the gathers with this little sister, we can now proceed to rip out her slug violently. Because we're evil like that, of course. Yep, no repercussions whatsoever. Yeah, about that. Oh, here's a weird glitch that happens sometimes. There's two glitches that happen occasionally in this game when you're just moving about the environment. There's one where we saw it earlier in the previous video where your second arm that has your plasmid will not be showing after you come out of your zoom. It'll just be your weapon. Your plasmid will still be there. You can still use it when you do your arm move back. And the second one is if you jump, you end up like floating across the ground, and then you have to jump again before you get that wobble in your footsteps back. Just a nice thing to notice there. Anyway, we are about to fight a big sister. How the big sister encounters work, now I can actually explain this, is I'm going to hide in this room so we can use the RPG turret and the trap rivets I have set up here. How the big sister encounters work is you fight one big sister per level, unless there's a scripted encounter with one plot reasons. And you fight it after you've dealt with every little sister in the level. So, as I said before, one of the choices you can make is to not deal with all the little sisters so you don't have to fight the big sister, but fighting the big sister also gives you atoms. So if you choose to not only not deal with all the little sisters, but not to fight the big sister, you'll be missing out on a lot of atoms, and it's just not a good idea. But, using the same stuff, the Electrobolt, the heavy rivets, which are doing quite a lot of damage to her. We actually didn't die in that encounter. That was pretty good. We get a lot of good stuff for beating her. And we did some research on it too, but like I said, researching the big sisters is always crucial because there's only a handful of them you fight total in the game, and there is enough of them to get max research on them, but only just barely. So you have to pretty much research every one of them you fight to be able to utilize their limited screen time to max out their research. There's only a handful of really good things you get for researching them though, but there's one that's really good called Drill Vampire or something like that, or is it that? Or do we get that something else? Something Vampire. I know the Drill Vampire one, regardless if you get it from researching her or not, is actually a really good tonic because it allows you to heal from dealing damage with the drill. I think there was something like that for the wrench in the previous game.